Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, and today we're going to talk basic use of a snowblower. And what you may or may not already know, but we're going to cover. This is going to be from the beginner of never having a snowblower to an intermediate, let's say. But we first need to know, what are the key components of a snowblower? Well, you've got the trough that brings in the snow. You've got a blower unit that comes and it shoots it out with hangs on it. Electric start with a starter. Gas can. Always check the oil before you start it every time. And then on this side you have the choke, key switch for on and off, throttle, and primer bulb. And then from there, each model is a little different, but you know, of how to turn the handle one way or the other. Some are manual, some are not. And then of course you have forward and reverse, and there's a number of different speeds that you can go in, whether it be forward or reverse. Now, one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, should I have tire chains on my tires? It can't hurt, but if it's working for you, fine. Don't bother. But what do we normally do in the fall of the year when it comes time to pull our snowblowers out? Well, if you haven't serviced it since last year, I would change the oil in it and take a good whiff of the gas. If the gas doesn't smell good, get rid of it. You know, and just kind of give it a visual look over. Are the cables snug, you know, for the drive and the auger? Because if they aren't, like on your drive, if the cables get a little sloppy, it's not pulling it far enough into the wheel so that you'll get like jerkiness instead of a nice smooth. And then what I like to do, and since we are getting this snowblower ready for this winter, this here, I don't know if you can see it or not, no sponsors, fluid film. And what we do with this is we just start spraying everything inside of this. Take your time, you can't get too much on. Even in here, where you get the most wear and tear of the snow coming out. And don't be afraid to use this a couple times a year on it during the winter. Why do we use that? Well, the biggest problem that we see with snowblowers is a lot of times the snow will stick to the metal. And if it sticks to the metal, especially if it's really slushy, then it's not going to operate properly. So this is one way you can give yourself a lot less headaches of having that happen, by simply spraying this everything that's where it takes the snow in. And so like I was saying, you can't get too much in there. You know, if it's lubricated right, it'll make your life so much easier. So the next thing we want to do is we want to look at safety. You know, safety is paramount with these things. Oh, they can't hurt you, right? Wrong. People have asked, what are these for? And that is to clean out in your trough here area. Never ever stick your hand anywhere near that. Even if, you know, it's not in gear. If that engine's running, do not stick your hand in there. If you get it plugged up, shut it off, then use the tool to dig it out, or even better, back it into the heated garage and let it sit for a while and let it melt down, and you'd be all set. But you have to constantly be thinking safety. And safety is not only working in front in the augers, it's also the direction that this is pointing. Because if you do, like most of our driveways that we have are not paved, they're actually item 4 stone, which is about that big around. And these will come out like a rocket when they come shooting out. So if you have this direction pointed towards somebody else's house, pointed towards the street, pointed towards vehicles, if the stone comes out of there, it can break windows, it can hurt people. You just have to be aware of your surroundings when you're out there. And the thing is, you know, what's the best way to operate a snowblower? The correct way is you never force a snowblower into the snow. Just take it easy. You know, let it come in and get a little bit, and then a little bit more. And if you've got high banks, go in a little bit, back up, keep going, undercutting that bank so that the snow can fall down. You don't want to be lifting this like this, trying to get, no, let it come, undercut it enough so it drops. Lighter snow blows easier than heavier snow. So you have to be keenly aware of the direction. Always have that pointed in a safe direction. Never work anywhere near that front until this engine is off, completely shut down. And then when you're done snow blowing, I like to let it just sit there and clean itself out, you know, so that you don't have a lot of snow in it. And it's not as important if you have a heated garage that you're going to put it back inside. But if you're putting it out in an outbuilding that is temperature controlled, as far as if it's 10 below zero, then it's 10 below zero with this, then you want to get that cleaned out as much as you can. And fluid film is going to help you on that endeavor of not having to spend so much time up there. So what else do we want to know when it comes to the operation of this? And one thing is inside this cover are 2 belts. Some have one, most of them have 2 belts. And you can pop those screws off and then just check the belts all the way around. Just roll it over by hand if you want. And you could do that simply by using the pull cord and just slightly pulling with the key switch off. That will start rolling that belt around, so you can take a look at it. Issues with snowblowers. Some of the issues that I hear is my drive doesn't work anymore, or it's jerking badly, you know, when I'm trying to walk into the snow and it's affecting forward and reverse. If that ends up being a problem with you and it's an ongoing, and your drive handle, you've checked the cable and the cable is, there's no slack in it, then what you may have to do, this is the correct way, what you may have to do is just simply take out these bolts that are right here, and this will drop down, and you can check the cables here too. But if you take this plate off, you're going to have a drive wheel in back of that, and that drive wheel is on a aluminum disc. And the way it works is as you squeeze the handle, it moves that rubber disc over to meet the aluminum disc. And the farther it goes this way, the faster it goes. And then in reverse, it just reverses and goes back and forth. One of the things that we see common on these snow blowers, even the newer ones that get used a lot, is the aluminum disc in there will get kind of cruddy. And that's from the running of the rubber wheel on it. A lot of times if you take carburetor cleaner and just spray it and clean it with a clean rag. Wipe it down smooth. That will cure all your problems. And the other thing is, while you're right there, check the wear and tear on the rubber disc. And when I say rubber disc, I mean I can tear that apart for you. But as you can see, there isn't one size fits all. See, some of them carry that size, this size, and this size. So depending upon the snowblower that you're running, what ends up happening is, we'll take this one just for demonstration, but this rubber disc will start to get wore, and these here are what I call throwaways. Once they get so far worn down, you just buy another one, give them a toss. Now some of these bigger ones, you can replace just the rubber, and they just pop out and replace, put a new one in, and off you go again. So while we got it in the up position, I don't know if you guys can see it or not with this camera the way it is, but here's your shoes. And these, this is simplicity, take this style. And they're a double shoe, so that means it's double-sided. If you start, you can adjust how high you want this off the ground so you're not right into gravel. Set your shoes so it's about 1/4 to 1/2 inch below where it picks up. And as these wear down, you may have to move them up, right? But once they get so wore, don't throw them away. Flip them over and use the other side. What they say by double. Where these are single use. Once you wear it out, it's throwaway. This is a double use for a smaller style, but you can see that there's different ones for different machines. Alright, so we've checked everything on that. Flip it back. Go easy. And on this unit, most of them have it. The newer ones, like this one here, has got a fuel shut off. So let's put it in the on position. Get the throttle up a little bit. Put it on choke. It says push it twice. Key switch is on. Give it a minute to let the gasket down in the carburetor. And what I can tell you is this machine has not been started since last winter. That was the first pull. That's the way we like it, right? And we like it that way because we shut the gas off last fall so they couldn't stay in the carburetor. And that's how you maintain and keep your snowblower looking like new. So on that note, hope it's kind of helped you out. See you in the next one.